Hi there guys, it is me Mr. Fossil, and I am back here with another video. Finally, I am back after a month of not uploading really anything. I've been, busy doing some hobby stuff and relaxing, and I've also been active on my world building project channel as well, and my website. But now, I am finally back with another video. So, as you guys know, I like collecting fossils. And today I want to show you what I have of trilobite fossils within my collection. It might not be much, but I still want to show you guys anyway. So without further ado, let me show you my trilobites. My first trilobite fossil actually came with my first ever fossils ever, which I got at 7 years old, which are in this bag. In this bag is an assortment that I got on my birthday and from a assembly at elementary school. I've showed you this before, guys, on another video about a year ago. So just a little recap, here are the contents of the bag. Here's the card that the assembly person gave us. And here are the fossils. So this little black one here is the one we're looking for. And this is supposed to be a trilobite. You can barely see it, but there's like the grooves on his body. The little ridges. Must be a baby one because of how small it is. But yeah, this is the first ever trilobite fossil I got, and was one of the first fossils I ever received. But yeah, a little baby trilobite. How adorable. So apart from the trilobite fossil, we also have what I thought for years was a Orthoceras fossil, but this is a crinoid stem. A little fossilized sea urchin. An actual Orthoceras fossil. A polished ammonite. Another ammonite. And this little shark tooth. I don't know what the species is, though. These are the ones from the assembly, and these are the ones I got for my birthday. But yeah, that one over there is the trilobite. The next trilobite fossil I have is this one, which I got while visiting a cave in Pennsylvania, and I purchased it at a gift shop. So this trilobite fossil was dug up in Morocco and dates back to the Silurian period, around 400 million years ago, and I got it for cheap, as you can see. This personally is one of my favorite fossils in my collection in general, because look at how detailed it is. I like the texture, the grooves, the coloration, and the overall feel and size in my hands. As you can see, the eyes aren't carved out of the stone, but that's what makes them more expensive with trilobites, is if they have the eyes in them, they're more expensive, but the ones without the eyes aren't. But yeah, like look at that coloration and look at those grooves. Like the texture of it is just so cool. Like I said, this is my favorite small trilobite fossil, but out of all the fossils I own, this is one of my personal favorites from my childhood. A very fine specimen indeed. My next trilobite fossils are in this bag of panned fossils from the Penn's Cave and Wildlife Park gift shop. Basically, they had these large bags of sand in the gift shop that either contained fossils, minerals, or arrowheads. So when you bought the bags, you had to go and do a little panning, like in the water. They had a little panning station, and then whatever came out of the sand, you kept. And I got this whole bulk of fossils. And one of the fossil types in the bag are trilobites. So without further ado, let's look inside the bag. So out of all the fossils in this bag that were in the sand, there are only 2 trilobite fossils, and they are very fragmentary. As you can tell, we have the body of the trilobite here. You can see with the ridges and grooves, but it's missing its head. But yeah, that's that trilobite fossil. And then this one is more well preserved and more detailed. So you can see there's the body, but there's no head. But you can tell it's more well preserved because look at the more detail and the color in it. But even though they're both decapitated, this one's the best specimen. Not discriminating on this one, but it's just like this one, stands out more. Okay, but they both have lost their heads, as you can tell. So, just for some idea what else I panned out, they had a bunch of shark teeth. bunch of bivalve-like clams, some gastropod shells, snails, and, of course, horn corals, a type of coral that had a cone-shaped body, which are no longer with us on this earth. They went extinct. But these are just some of the stuff that was in the bag, but not all of it. There were plenty more. But yeah, these little guys are from Penn's Cave. My next trilobite fossil is on one of my bookshelves, as you can tell, amongst some of my statues, shells, and dinosaur figurines. So let me go get that one for you. So here's this big guy, or big guys, up close in detail. So as you can tell, there are two trilobites, and that one, as you can see, is climbing over the other. Now, I don't know if this is just a random passerby, or if this one is going to try and mate with this one. Because it kind of gives me the impression that, that horseshoe crabs do. Like, when horseshoe crabs go on top of each other, you see them at the beach and stuff in the sand. Because, trilobites somewhat look like horseshoe crabs, in a way. Maybe they're related, or maybe they're close cousins, I'm not too sure. I think they're more related to sea scorpions, horseshoe crabs. But this one is actually really excellently detailed. You can see the grooves, and this time these two small guys, they have their heads. And of course, look at the little cut marks on the rock. So here's the backside. You can see how much they shaved away at the rock to get to the fossil. But yeah, we have two little trilobites crawling on top of each other. Pretty cool, right? My next and final trilobite fossil is this one of my biggest fossils in my whole collection, and it sits on top of my dresser amongst all of these dinosaur figurines, which you guys, I like collecting dinosaur figurines. But that one over there, I'm not sure what time period it's from, but I do know that it was dug up in Morocco. But yes, it's one of the biggest fossils in my collection. So here's the fossil off of its stand, next to a ruler showing how large it is. So let's get some up-close detail of it. Yeah, this trilobite is huge. Not all trilobites were small. Some of them were very big, even bigger than this big boy here. Some were like a meter long. Very huge sea creatures. But yeah, guys, that's the biggest trilobite I own. Wow. And to close all things off, I have this little trilobite figurine made by Bullyland, which actually shows what a trilobite would look like in life. You see it has many claws and many legs. There's his eyes. Not all trilobites look like this. Trilobites were very diverse creatures that lived in the Earth's oceans. Very, very, very successful creatures. But yeah, this is a little toy one. And here is the toy next to a fossil of a trilobite for comparison. So there you have it, guys. All of my trilobite fossils in my fossil collection. The king of it all is this big guy. But as you can tell, I don't really have many trilobites. Most of my fossils are not trilobites. Even though I have a few of them, they're still excellent specimens. But trilobites are one of the icons of the prehistoric world. They were very successful in the Paleozoic oceans. Unfortunately, they went extinct during the Permian mass extinction or the Great Dying. But who knows, if they would have survived, maybe they would still be around today. But I don't know. What do you guys think? But these are all the fossils that I have of trilobites. Maybe I'll get more. But yeah, this one definitely takes the cake. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And please stay tuned for more content. Bye!